Hey everybody, welcome to the Geekdom. This is Lady Kayla, and today I'm going to be doing a Game of Thrones review. First, I want to give a shout out to Melina Pendulum and her channel. That's what it's called. I don't know what her full name is. I'm guessing her first name is Melina, but she does do Game of Thrones reviews, and she's funny, she's witty, she's crazy. I love her. I don't know her personally. I just know I love her reviews, and before her reviews, I was watching her other videos, and she's smart, and she's worth checking out. I'll put her link in the description below, and at least give her a chance, check her out, and decide from there if you like or dislike her channel. Anyways, let's get started here. We start off with Bran yielding to Theon, and you know, Theon's being as nice as he can. He's saying, like, look, Bran, you know, just hand it over, nobody will get hurt. I think he does have some guilt here because Bran looks at him and he's like, have you always hated us? And Theon just walks away because I really don't think he hates them. And you know, either way, you could look at this two ways. You could think of it as Theon getting vengeance, or trying to get back any shred of dignity he had left that was taken from him by the Starks. Or you could just think of it as a complete betrayal to the Starks, who have taken care of him so well and actually lovingly, and he was even best friends with Robb. And that's why I love George R. R. Martin's world, because you can look at things in so many different ways, and you can be valid in any choice you make in this world. That's why I get mad when I see people literally having like arguments over why people like or dislike characters, because it's completely ridiculous, because everyone can be justified or argued against, and it's just amazing because no matter who you meet in the Game of Thrones kingdom, you will find people not seeing eye to eye on every single thing. And so it's just amazing the way you can do things in the Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones fandom. So anyways, what was so heart-wrenching was Roderick's death, because you have Bran crying, you have Rickon crying, and it was completely sad, and it was just I teared up because it's so sad. And like Roderick's like one of those like loyal family members, and he just told Theon off, and he was even one of the ones who trained Theon in arms and treated him like any other of the Stark boys, even though he wasn't a Stark. And and I also liked his death because it showed that, you know, not everything's clean. Usually in fantasies, when someone dies, it's like a nice, clean, instant death. We don't really hear the brutality or gruesome aspects of a lot of death in fantasy. It's usually clean, it's instant. Here, you know, it took like 3 chops, and at the end he even had to kick the rest of the head off. And while it was sad, and I loved Roderick, I liked how they showed the more gruesome aspects of these kinds of things, and it wasn't just instant or easy or clean. For the Jon Snow scenes, I just have to say Ygritte. Ygritte was awesome. Oh man, I just love. When I saw her face, like as soon as she turned over, I saw that red hair. I was like, oh my god, oh, amazing. So, anyways, they come across Qhorin and Jon Snow. They come across these band of wildlings, and they kill everyone except Ygritte, because Jon Snow couldn't as soon as he found out she's a woman. So they question her, and you know, she's not saying anything, just like Qhorin said she wouldn't. But Jon Snow ends up not killing her because he can't, and she takes advantage, runs away. He recaptures her, and now he's kind of stranded with her, and has her bound, and before they go to sleep, she's all like rubbing up on him, and like I think she's doing it mostly to be funny, but I'm sure if she could take advantage of him unbinding her to do anything crazy with her, she would take advantage and either kill him or run away again. But I think she's mostly doing it to be funny because Jon Snow isn't gonna let her off. But you know, he's like, stop it, like, you know, got some changes going on down there. Anyways, I love Ygritte. Like, I think she's doing it perfectly, and I want to see more of what's going on here. Next we have Arya, and Peter Baelish comes in, and I'm not going to cover every single scene that happens like bit by bit, just the parts that the parts that I like to cover. And anyways, Peter Baelish comes in and he's like, look, you know, after Renly's death, Highgarden, the might of Highgarden went back to Highgarden. And, you know, the Tyrells are back, any of the other Highgarden bannermen are back in Highgarden, and they're up for grabs. And Tywin's like, you know, but they went for Renly, and, you know, Peter's like, look, Marjorie wants to be queen, I'm sure we could work something out. And, so that kind of conspiracy is going on, and Peter like kind of notices Arya, and he like tries to look at her, but he doesn't get a full glimpse of her face, and we kind of are left on this cliffhanger where you're like, did Peter notice her? Does he know she's there? And we never really find out. So I'm wondering what's gonna happen with that. And we also find out why Tywin is so proud of his house, which I don't think was necessary, but for Tywin fans who haven't read the books, it does give you a lot more familiarity with Tywin as a character. Anyways, Arya sneaks the letter out but gets caught. And so he's about to go back to Tywin with the letter, but Arya finds Jaqen, and Jaqen ends up killing him like an instant before he goes in the door, or right when the door opens. And it's just like, how does Jaqen do this? In the books, it's like so much of a mystery, and so in the show, it's like a mystery too. I'm just upset because I'm still wanting my Jaqen in a bathtub scene, and if I don't get it soon, I'm going to go crazy because I've seen boobies, I've seen all the splendor of a woman's body. I would like some male parts too, please, like especially Jaqen, just like 5 minutes of Jaqen in the tub. Like, we don't even have to see everything, but like a shirt off, you know, a nipple, something to work with. Come on. Anyways, so yeah. Let's go to Sansa. Sansa scene is when the revolt happens, and it's just crazy. You know, we have people in the crowd saying they're hungry, no one's giving two craps about them. So someone literally throws crap at Joffrey, which I would have done. But since Joffrey couldn't really pinpoint who exactly it was, and neither could the guards, he ends up just saying, kill them all. And Tyrion's taking care of the situation because he felt the tension before it actually happened, and he knew the people were angry even before this revolt happened. And so right when he's feeling the tension, he says, get Tommen out of here. He doesn't really give two shits about Joffrey because he doesn't really tell anybody to take care of Joffrey, but Sandor ends up doing it. But after everybody's kind of settled, Tyrion's like, where's Sansa? Where's Sansa? We need Sansa. And, you know, he's really worried about his brother. They don't really say too much, but in the books, Tyrion really does love his brother. I mean, in a world where everyone's against you, Jaime was the only one who actually loved Tyrion back and showed him love. So Tyrion really loves his brother, so he's concerned about him, and he knows he needs Sansa in order to get Jaime back. So, sorry, I almost dropped my notes. So yeah, he's looking for her, and I'm sure he also doesn't want any harm to come to her because, you know, he's not an evil person. But anyways, Sandor takes care of that himself. He's out, he's gone, he finds her, he kills those rapers. I know they're rapists, but George R. R. Martin calls them rapers. He kills those rapers, and he saves Sansa before she's even, like, touched or soiled. Because, you know, she can't lose her virginity if she's going to be worth anything in this kind of world. Anyways, I just love this because, you know, nobody told Sandor to save her, and even when Tyrion's like, oh, thank you, he's like, I didn't do it for you. And, you know, Joffrey sure the hell didn't tell him to do it because Joffrey's only caring about himself. So he did it Sandor did it for himself, and I think that was just the cutest thing ever. And Sandor is one of those very misunderstood characters, and his Sansa relationship is just amazing, and it's what makes me love Sandor so much, because I know there's a heart somewhere in there, and Sansa seems to be the only one who could bring it out, and they don't really flesh out them so much, because they do have conversations, and I'm a little disappointed with that, but I think the hints and clues are enough for me for the show. Um, and he calls her like Little Bird, which is like his pet name for her, and it's so adorable. I love it. But anyway, she goes back to her room, and now it seems that in the time span of Shae being her handmaiden, they become friends, which I predicted what would happen. And Sansa's, just ranting and, shaky, and just saying, that she does hate the king, and if it was up to her, she would feed the people. And, she's an innocent girl, and she really does mean that. I'm sure she does. And Shae's like, you can't be saying some of these things because someone might hear you, and it's just, it's better not to trust anybody. But we see Sansa really wanting to trust Shae, and, we also see Shae is like really hurt about something, and I'm pretty sure it's not because she's feeling guilty about spying on Sansa, which I'm sure she's not. If she was, it would just be for Tyrion, who we know doesn't mean Sansa any malice. But I'm pretty sure it's because Shae has been betrayed before, and so I really want to know more about Shae. I really want to know her story. We get a story from her in the books, but I'm sure the show's going for something different, and I think they just need to flesh it out already, because the last thing we got about Shae's past was with the drinking game, and that was a long, long time ago. So I really want them to start fleshing that out more. She might end up telling Sansa, since now they seem to be getting closer. And then we have Dany, who her scenes are so, not pointless, but boring and borderline pointless. I mean, I love Daenerys, but right now she's at that point where nothing's really happening, and I think they should just leave her scenes out, because that pathetic thing that she did with the spice trader or whatever he was, where she was like, give me your ships because I swear I'll pay you back, and I have people loyal to me in Westeros. It was really pathetic, and I know the Mother of Dragons is really desperate, but that scene was, it was almost heartbreaking to watch, especially since I love Daenerys so much, to see her that low and without any logic to what she was asking for. I'm surprised he didn't ask for a dragon as payment, which she would have said no to anyways, but I think that would have been it. Just at least make things more logical. I don't know. But, he is seeing that, like, this doesn't make sense. She's offering me nothing. And as a merchant, he can't make deals like that. He's not going to make a investment like that with nothing to gain, or a chance that he might not gain anything. But yeah, that scene was like painful to watch. I was like, Daenerys, please stop. Please stop, because, you are just stooping low. And then something that didn't happen in the books happened, which her dragons get stolen, and I really don't know what's gonna happen there. I really don't. I don't. And it's just like, is that how boring Daenerys got, that they had to add that her dragons getting stolen to add some kind of substance to her scenes, because they were getting that boring? I think they just should have waited until like more interesting things started happening, instead of doing these kind of pointless scenes. And anyway, so her dragons get stolen. I don't know what's gonna happen there. And then we have Robb, and he's like more flirting with this girl who I can't pick up her name. I don't know her name, but I think she's supposed to be Jane Westerling, so I'm just gonna call her Jane Westerling. And I don't know if she's still hiding her identity, because she's still saying that name, and I don't know why they would change her name so far from Jane Westerling, because I know, changing Osha's name to Yara because it's so close to Osha's name, but I don't understand why her name is so different, and I don't know. I really don't. So, I don't know if she's still hiding her identity or if that's really who she is. But anyways, Catelyn sees Robb's really interested in her, and she's like, no, this can't happen. You're promised to another, and you know your men are counting on you on this marriage. Your sisters are counting on you on this marriage, and you know he could whore around and he could sleep with serving girls, but he can't sleep with a lady because once you sleep with a lady and take her virtue, her father can demand like a marriage. Like, look, she's worth nothing now. You need to marry her, because you know that kind of society, terrible. Anyways, later they find out about Theon, and Theon took over Winterfell, and I Catelyn at this moment just must be like her heart ripped out of her, and while she's not my favorite character, and I don't like her for abandoning her children, you can't really say she doesn't love her children, and you can't deny that motherly love and that devotion. And I just this scene, like, her heart probably was just like ripped from her chest. I mean, she lost her 2 girls, now her 2 boys, and you know, they may or may not be dead, and now all she has is Robb, and I feel like her heart just got torn out and like crushed right in front of her. But instead of going back and taking over Winterfell, Bolton's just like, who we met briefly, he's like, you know, I'll send for my bastard and he'll take care of everything. You know, he'll rally some men and take Winterfell back. And I think Bolton was the one who was supposed to be in Tywin's place. He was supposed to be at Harrenhal, and then I think later it's his bastard who ends up at Harrenhal. So I don't remember exactly, but I know there was Boltons in Harrenhal. But I was wondering, like, if they aren't in Harrenhal, what's going to happen? How does this get solved? But now I see them tying things back together, and everything's starting to kind of make more sense to me now as a reader. What do we have after that? Oh yes, Osha. I think Osha seducing Theon part was kind of pointless, but you know, they have to add, you know, nakedness somewhere. And she waits for him to be asleep, and then she sneaks out and takes the boys, Bran and Rickon. Hodor comes along, and the 2 wolves. So this scene was pretty badass, and I love Osha's loyalty and her strength and her willingness to do something for basically strangers, but she obviously has enough loyalty for her to do something like that and take the boys and try to find, you know, Robb or Catelyn or something, who are together, so I don't know why I said 2 names. But anyways, I love that about Osha, and it's just like she was like a slave like Theon, so like the person I was arguing with who said that you know, Theon, you know, owes no loyalty to the Starks because he was their slave. Look at Osha. She was literally a slave, like bound and, you know, working the kitchen and whatnot, while Theon was acting like a little lord. And, you know, Osha, who knew them even less than Theon, had enough loyalty to do something like risk her life and take the boys out. So, you know, it wasn't really an argument. It was just like a little debate and discussion like I have on Tower of the Hound all the time, except it was on Twitter. But anyways, yeah, so that's why I think I don't stand with the, oh, Theon's just getting back at his captors theory. I don't go with that, because just look at Osha. I mean, look what she's done. The only thing I'm like upset about is that the reads are not part of this, and I've been looking forward to the reads. I love Jojen and Mira. They're two great characters, and I wouldn't really mind the dropping of characters, except soon there comes a point where it's like they're needed, and I'm not sure how they're going to exactly fix what's going to happen next, or what should happen next if they go by the book. I really don't. I'm trying like really hard to think. I can't. We need the reads, and I don't think they're going to be added. So I really have to see what's going to happen next, but I'm not sure. I can't think of a question to leave you guys with, so I'll just make one up. Who would you be in Westeros? Like, what kind of a job would you have, or position would you have? Not in Westeros, in this world of A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones. Like a maester, would you be a lady, a lord, a Khal, a Khaleesi, a blood rider, a knight, knight of the Kingsguard, or knight for Renly, or just a knight for some other house? Would you be a lord, a lady? Did I already say that? Who knows? Anyways, I would be a maester, most likely, because I love learning. If not, I would be like the last living person of Harrenhal, and I would eventually take back Harrenhal and have a title for myself and marry Tyrion Lannister. Anyways, get as creative with your stories as you want, or you could just simply tell me what you would be. I would probably be, I would be the last living person of Harrenhal, and then hiding my identity, I would take up the Maester's life, and then eventually get back Harrenhal and get back my name, because I think their symbol is a bat, which just goes with me because I love Batman. And then I would get my title, and I would get my house back, and I would build it all up again, and I would get Tyrion as my husband. Anyway, so like I said, get as creative as you want, or if you don't want to, just tell me basically what you would be. Anyways, I really need to come up with more questions for my next reviews, so if you guys could help me with that, I would be appreciative. What kind of questions can I leave for the end? Anyways, thank you for your time. Bye!